Hello, this is going to be a quick tutorial on how to transfer your textures from the old Canine avatar to the new one. It's not going to be a perfect transfer and you'll still need to clean some stuff up, but it will definitely make retexturing it a lot easier the next time around. The first thing you're going to need to do is download the texture transfer files from the Gumroad package and then download Marmoset Toolbag 4. I'll put the link in the description, but once you click on the link, you'll have to go to Toolbag up here and then click on Download, and you should scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page. It has a 30-day free trial, so you don't need to pay for it. Once you have everything downloaded, open up Marmoset and the texture transfer files. Find your old textures. So here are the ones that I'm going to be using. And go to Old Body. Now we're going to drag the old body texture you have into this slot right here. We're going to do the same thing for the tail, so click on Old Tail. And drag your tail into the albedo spot. Now you're going to need to select where you want to save the files to. Select this, then go down to your output and select these three dots right here. Select them and then choose what you want to name your new textures and where you want to save them. Do the same thing for the body. Then you're going to select Bake and select Bake again for the tail. If you want to see what they are going to look like, select the P for both of them. Now that you have your textures transferred, you're going to need to clean them up a bit. There are two types of things that won't transfer. The first type are things that were on the avatar before but have changed so much that they're unable to be transferred. These are things like the cheek floofies, the paw pads, the nails, stuff like that. The second category are things that weren't on the avatar before, so because they weren't on the avatar before, there's nothing to transfer over, and those are things like the floppy ears, the fluffy tail, stuff like that. I'm going to clean them up in Substance first, and then I'm going to show cleaning them up in a 2D program. I'll use Krita, but you can use a different program if you'd like Photoshop or GIMP. Another thing that I forgot to mention is that if you had the wolf tail on the old model, then you unfortunately won't be able to transfer that over to the new avatar because that tail doesn't exist anymore. I replaced it with the fluffy tail, so if you had that tail, you'll need to redo those textures onto either the fluffy tail or the not fluffy tail. So once you have Substance open, you'll need to find those textures that you just transferred. The tail texture shouldn't need any editing, but I'm going to show you how to drag it into Substance to edit it further if you'd like to. But we're going to start with the body first, so locate that body texture. Now, make sure you're on the body material in the texture set. Go to your layers and then add a fill layer. Select everything except for the color to turn them off, and then find that body texture and drag it in. Select texture, and then I'm going to import it into the project and then hit import. It should appear over here, and then drag it in to the base color. You should see it applied to your avatar now. So, like I was saying before, not everything was able to transfer over. Everything here that's black didn't transfer over, and there are also going to be some errors, like on the bottom of the paw pads or closer to the nails that you'll need to fix. The best way to do that, if you want to use some of the parts of these layers, is to right-click and add a black mask. This is going to hide that whole texture. So Now we're going to show the parts that we want. So go over here to Polygon Fill. Make sure this is selected. And then make sure that you're all the way up to white. So this is going to unhide parts of it. Select the body. And then select both of these pointy ears. Now you can go ahead and clean up further these parts that didn't transfer correctly. If you need help texturing more parts of it, head on over to the Canine texturing tutorial or the Substance Basics tutorial. So now we're going to do the same thing for the tail. So go to Tail 1. It's going to take a minute to load. There we go. And do the same thing, add a fill layer, select everything except for color. Drag in your tail. And then drag this over here. I'm going to turn off some of these texture sets just so you can get a better look at this. Okay, you can see both of these things. You don't really need to edit the tail much because that has a good transfer, but yeah, like I was saying before, you'll need to edit these body pieces. And if you want this fluffy tail, there's no transfer for it, so you'll need to edit that one from scratch. Okay, that's it. If you need help exporting out these textures, again, check out the Substance Canine texturing tutorial. Now let's head over to a 2D program. Now let's clean up these textures in a 2D program. I'm using Krita, but you can use a different program if you'd like Substance or GIMP. I also have the wolf body Photoshop file open here. It's just easier to use this as a base. Now what we're going to do is drag in the body and select Insert as New Layer. Drag that layer below the info tag. Okay, so like I was saying before, some parts of this didn't transfer. We're going to need to erase out those parts, so let's start doing that. Grab your eraser by hitting E and zoom in and start erasing. So the reason why we're doing this is so we can let the layers from the wolf show through to help edit the textures and clean them up. So if you want your wolf to have crazy colored teeth, you don't have to do this, but I'm gonna do it just to keep things simple. So yeah, we're gonna erase these teeth. Erase the eyebrows too, the body floofs, the tongue, gums, Okay, that should be everything. You'll also notice some little errors that are kind of hard to see, but right on the tips of the hands, you'll see where the old nails used to be. They should be like little black smudges, depending on what color you made your nail. You'll have to clean that up as well. But now let's say we want to edit the color of these floppy ears using the wolf textures. So go down into your wolf textures and these programs open up all the layers to make them a little confusing. But I'm gonna find the body base color. And now let's select a color. Let's say we want them to be blue. Switch back over to your brush by hitting B and color in the ears. Then we can change the shadow color and the highlight color to match that blue that we just chose. Okay, you could just use this same process for changing the rest of the colors of things, but that should be it. Once you're done, make sure you turn off, you scroll back up all the way to the top and turn off the labels and UVs before saving this out as either a PNG or a JPEG. If you don't turn those off, you're going to end up with lines all over your avatar. But yeah, I'm not going to do the tail just because that transfer is pretty good. So once you do that, you should be good to save out your texture and put it into Unity. If you need help putting your custom texture into Unity, you can always check out the upload tutorial where I apply custom textures to the avatar. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and as always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on either Discord, Twitter, or email. Thanks! Bye-bye!